Hello and welcome back, all you Frankenstein lovers and creatures' rights activists. That's right. We support Adam's rights and his wrongs, always and forever over here. Um, Welcome to another video where obviously today I'm going to be drawing a couple of things inspired by Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. So for anyone who doesn't know me or they're new here, hi, I'm Momo. I'm an illustrator, professional, hashtag brag, and typically I do not really give movie commentary because I'm not a movie critic. I'm just a girl who likes art and movies. But I think this movie kind of warrants a little elaboration, if you will. There are a couple of movies that have come out in recent years that I feel like if I'd seen them when I was in a more formative stage of like developing my art muscles, I probably would have wanted to work in film versus illustration. Now, that being said, ultimately I think I would have ended up in illustrating in some way, shape, or form. It's always been something I've enjoyed doing, but I might have tried to pursue a field in, I don't know, cinematography or something within film if I had seen these in high school, for instance. And like, just to name a few, things like Dune blew my mind. Now that made me really go, oh, cinematography, I should pay attention to that. Sinners this year also did the same thing for me, and then Frankenstein also played a similar role when I saw it. I remember leaving the theater because I did manage to see this in theaters for my first watch, and I remember leaving the theater and kind of having this feeling of, oh, this is the type of art that somebody makes when they're at the heights of their career. Like, you could tell that, or at least to me, I feel like I could tell that Guillermo del Toro was like comfortable in his craft. He knew what he was doing. He had a clear vision and knew all the ways and all the pieces to put into position to make this possible. And I don't know, like, I got the feeling that this is not something you could just make off your first try, you know, like you kind of had to be working at your craft for a while for this to come together in the way that it did. I kind of walked out of the theater going, oh man, I wish I could make something like this, but I don't think I'm there yet. I don't think I've had the experiences yet. I don't think I've messed around in illustration enough yet to make this magnum opus, which is what it is. And it also made me think a lot about filmmakers and their magnum opuses that have been coming out recently. Dune and Frankenstein being two of those, where it's kind of like these, by their own admission, these directors are talking about how this story is something that they've always wanted to adapt, and they finally got the chance to do it in the way that feels true to what their vision was. And that had me thinking about what would my magnum opus be, if that makes sense. I don't know, I don't mean to sound lofty. I don't mean to sound like, yeah, when I get to make my magnum opus. Not at all. It's just, I think for every creative person, there's always stories or movies or, you know, there's something that's always been in the back of your mind. That's something that when you first encountered it, it really drove you to like want to make something that reminds you of this thing, that gave you that same feeling. You want to be able to make something akin to that as well. If you're a creative person and you're in the comments, please let me know if that's true for you as well. I don't want to be speaking out of turn or like speaking for anyone else here, but I think from the experiences I've had and from the conversations I've had with other creative people, I think that seems to be a truth about all of us, is that there is that thing that made you go, I want to do this as well. And I was thinking a lot about what that story would be for me, and like what are the things that inspired me and show up in my artwork over time, over and over again. And I think personally the stories that I'm drawn to and the stories I want to tell and the creative aspiration that I have are along the lines of like mystery teen stories. So Scooby-Doo and Nancy Drew really had that effect on me growing up. And so I think in the storytelling aspects of illustration that I do, I tend to lean towards stuff like that. I love getting a little ghost story where kids are solving a mystery. That's the thing that scratches my brain. And I love being able to see in Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein all the ways that this movie, you can see threads of it in all his other work. Another really cool thing, and this is more concrete than talking about thematic ideas in his work or anything like that, but one thing that really impacted me a lot watching this movie was the use of color and the choices made and like how to utilize color with characters and like lighting and everything like that. It's so specific, it's so masterful. And as I really love color in my work, if you've seen any of my other stuff, I think you could tell that I tend to skew very colorful, but I don't know if I've employed the same specificity, let's say, in like how I choose my colors. And so seeing something like this really made me want to think a lot more about how I've been utilizing color. I tend to just pick things based on like, I think this looks good, I think they work well together, which when you're working with like one-off illustrations, I feel like it's hard to do the whole specificity thing. Like when it came down to it, most of those color choices were made because of character choices, and so we're linking colors with characters here and so on. So I think for like going forward in the future, I would love to be able to borrow that idea from Guillermo del Toro. Granted, this is not like unique to him. Plenty of artists do this, but yeah, I really want to think about colors and what they mean and how to associate that with a character more than just this looks really nice, you know. I think this whole movie was driving me to think about my own work in a very specific way, which I think can only be good, right? I guess in a way that's the beauty of seeing good art, being able to interact with and like be a part of, in a way, art that moves you, whether it's good to other people or not. If it inspires you or moves you in some way, I think that is inherently a net positive. So I'm really enchanted with how much a lot of movies this year, I feel like, have been pushing me to think about my own work in a very different way, or trying to engage in my work in a way that I don't normally do. So kudos to film for doing that for me. Love that journey for me. Anyway, we're now coming to the end basically of this video. I guess this was just a little quick chat about how art begets art, how art inspires art versus anything else. I'm really excited. I really hope to see more good stuff in film this year and next year. I'm very excited for December because there's a lot of movies that I'm excited to see coming out in December. I think this is one of the beautiful things about art in general. I don't think it matters what medium the art is and what medium you work in as an artist, because it inspires you regardless, and it moves you to try to make something just as beautiful as the thing that you saw. And I think that is, I don't know, the beauty of art, I guess. The thesis statement of this entire thing is basically that good art begets good art. So we should all go forth and make some good art and watch and embrace some good art. That's what I'm going to leave you with. Speaking of good art, I do have the prints of the creature, Adam, on sale on my Etsy. All the links will be down below. I'm thinking about doing prints of him and Elizabeth, and I have another one that I'm working on, but we'll see how far I get with that. But yeah, if you're interested, check that out on Etsy. And as per usual, new videos on here every other Saturday. All my links down below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and do all the YouTube things. Goodbye.